watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
We begin with a weather impact alert as a storm is moving in. Thanks for joining us at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connard.
And I'm Netta Iranpour. We have team coverage for you today. CBS 8's Regina Yorita and Chris Grow tracking storm preps, and Vanessa Paz is watching the roads.
But we begin with meteorologist Evan Rani tracking the rain coming down in some areas right now, Evan.
Yeah, already starting to see the occasional light to moderate shower as the outer bands of this storm arrive. This is an atmospheric river that has been trudging down Southern California over the last several hours, right now in the LA, Orange County area, and then continuing on to San Diego. Here's a live look outside. You can see some breaks in the clouds. We're going to be seeing those throughout the day. You'll also notice as you step outside, likely that the roads are wet. Over the last many hours, 3-4 hours, this is what our radar loop has looked like. But what we're in for is what we have up around that LA area. Again, right now, closer to about Santa Barbara, Oxnard, Ventura County, and then continuing through LA over the course of the day. That's where the most intense stuff is located, but we are going to likely be seeing about a 5-day stretch now of accumulating rain each day. We have a flood watch that's going to take effect tomorrow. Saturday is expected to be our most intense day of rain, so that's going to be the single heaviest day with the possibility of some localized flooding, some aerial flooding, and of course for some thunderstorms too. That's across the entirety of San Diego County. Over the course of the day, we'll be watching for temperatures to drop down to the 60s out by the coast, the low 70s inland. That cool down will only continue through the weekend. We do expect that going through the weekend into early next week, we're going to have additional opportunities for rain in the forecast. That's kind of for the next work week. So we'll keep tabs on that as we continue to look into the forecast. As always, this is a great time to have our extended weather forecast with you. You can get that by downloading our free streaming channel, CBS 8 Plus. You can download it on your TV. Watch us for free anytime. Vanessa Paz is checking in on what this mess on the roads could lead to in terms of traffic.
Yeah, today's certainly not the day that you want to wait until the last minute to head out the door and get wherever you got to go. I get it. I'm a procrastinator as well, but today not quite the ideal time to do it. Also, we haven't seen rain in a long time, so it means a lot of our major freeways, a lot of that dirt and oil is going to loosen up, making the roads just extra slick this morning, in addition to the rain that we're expecting. All right, we are dealing with a crash on the 5 North at Nobel Drive, and it looks like the car in the center divide as a result. And we're also tracking a crash involving a semi on the 805 South right at La Jolla Village Road. So that's in the UTC area, and then we have one on the 5 closer to La Jolla. Overall, it looks like they're just surrounding the Golden Triangle. We are looking at wet roads indicated by this light green color here right along the 15, mostly on the 5 from Encinitas north to Oceanside. And here's what it looks like outside. Again, there's a little bit of a reflection on the 805 indicating some slick conditions out there. Coming up a little later, we'll take a look at what your Friday travel times have in store. Back to you guys.
Okay, let's hope everyone's safe. Vanessa, thank you. From the mountains to the coastline, preparations are underway ahead of this storm.
CBS 8's Regina Yorita live in Oceanside right now. Lifeguards on high alert there this morning, right?
Yeah, that's correct. But this morning, it seems like it's pretty calm, at least at this time. Earlier this morning, we did notice a little bit of some moderate showers. It was enough to make our roads pretty wet and slippery. That's something that we noticed on our way here on the 5 heading northbound. So if you are heading out for your morning commute, remember to slow your speed. You want to avoid areas of standing water during a storm. Do not drive through flooded roadways. You don't know the condition of the road under the water. But as mentioned yesterday, from the coast to the mountains, city and county crews were hard at work preparing for this storm. Oceanside lifeguard captain told us his crews are on high alert, keeping a closer watch on the beach and harbor for big waves and a potential small craft advisory.
We are preparing for the storms to hit. We're going to make the determination on whether they stay on overnight tomorrow if the rainfall does continue to develop.
Now, in areas that have a tendency of flooding, you want to make sure to protect them with sandbags. We do know that unincorporated residents will have those available at their local fire station. If you want a list of where to go, we have that list on CBS8.com. You can head to this story. Just click on our story here on that website. But a little bit more on the city of San Diego, keeping a close eye on areas that were hit hard by flooding in 2024. We have our Chris Grow live in studio to talk more on how to prepare for residents who dealt with those. Chris?
Yeah, Regina, remember Southeast San Diego hammered with not just rain, but that flooding. Homes destroyed and severely damaged, lives uprooted. So with a lot of rain in the forecast here, city crews trying to take precautions during these dry days. Just yesterday and the day before, we're told crews have already gone out to problem areas to clear drains. They're sweeping streets of trash and any pollution, and also doing the same with those storm channels, which were a huge controversy both during and after that flooding. A lot of this happening, of course, in the area of Mountain View, Chollas Creek, southeast San Diego, which saw a brunt of that. Back then, during the heavy rain, we were told crews will, during the heavy rain coming up here, we're told crews will be out over the entire city to monitor the 46,000 storm drains citywide. We did get an update from the city on preparing for the storm season. Let's take a listen.
And then I'll be covering how the department is preparing for this upcoming storm season. So just to reiterate, the department's mission is really twofold. It's to improve water quality in our local water bodies, and it's to reduce flood risk.
Now remember, there's also a lot of work that you can do while we're taking a look at what city crews have been doing. To all of this, though, to try to prevent flooding and damage to your home. Have a plan for if it does flood. Of course, know where the clearest and most secure exit out of your neighborhood is. Then sweep debris and leaves from both your storm drains near your home and curb gutters as well, too. Know the safest route out, like I said, and put valuable documents in waterproof containers. Now, sandbags will also be available. Martin Luther King Jr. Rec Center, just the bags, though, not sand. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Chris. And for the very latest weather conditions and alerts on the go, download our free CBS 8 app. You'll find it on Google Play or the Apple App Store on your phone.
And so it begins. The road's already wet out there. It's lighter at the moment, but it's going to start to build.
It will. Tomorrow is expected to be the most intense day, Saturday. That's going to be the day where everything intensifies and where the main channel of this atmospheric river starts to shift down towards San Diego County. Right now, over about the LA area. Still, in the meantime, today is going to be one of those days where we have those scattered occasional showers, mostly light to moderate. We do see that temperatures are cooling down a bit from where they were at any point this week. Coolest point of the week, 68 along the coastline this afternoon, 71 inland. I'm somewhat surprised by the number of 70s that we'll still have on the screen this afternoon, so don't expect it to be too cold of a storm today. However, day over day moving forward, we're going to keep that cool down going. So let's run through our rain accumulation model. What I will say is that these have changed. We have said day over day that these will change, and so here we are on Friday with the biggest change. That is that still North County all the way up through Orange County and LA, those are where the heaviest accumulations are located. We're talking upwards of 3 inches, maybe even 4 inches around the LA area. This is in addition to what we already have on the ground. And this also only runs through Sunday at 6 a.m., Sunday during the day, as well as Monday, Tuesday. Those look to be additional days of wet weather in the forecast. So as you start to move down the coastline, you see how this atmospheric river will break down. It'll not have as much of that moisture to draw upon. And so our totals down towards San Diego County, in Oceanside, for example, 1.7 inches by Sunday, 1.4 inches by the time we get to Sunday in downtown San Diego. As far as our winds go, we've started to get a little breezy over our local mountains and deserts. That mainly picked up last night into early this morning. Going through the course of the weekend, looks like our mountains are most poised to be breezy out there. However, you can see how across the board for Saturday afternoon, that's where we're all going to feel that uptick in wind. It's a rarity that we see areas like Fallbrook and Ramona west of the coastline get upwards of 30 miles per hour, but there's a chance that as we get into tomorrow afternoon that we do so. So watch out for the down palm fronds and the pooling and ponding on the roadways because of that aerial flood watch that we have in store starting at 4 a.m. tomorrow. Current temperatures out the door right now are mostly in the 50s. We have some 40s out there. Palomar Mountain at 49 degrees, 48 up at Mount Laguna. Aside from that, though, primarily 50s and 60s. Again, these overnight lows are going to start to drop day over day as we continue to see more and more wet weather in the forecast. And you see what those rain chances look like. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. Between now and Tuesday, they stay above 50%. Right now, it looks like the best day as an entire day to run into dry weather is going to be Wednesday of next week. And those temperatures will slide in the meantime, day over day, at least about a 50% chance for rain, with the bulk of that, the highest probability of those heavy accumulations to come on Saturday. Vanessa Paz is checking in on traffic. What a beautiful look outside.
I know. It's almost like, again, we show you this shot and I'm sure viewers are like, what rain? Yeah, it's looking a little slick. The road's slightly glossy, and this is on the 8 in both directions, right at College as folks make their way westbound. That's coming at your screen there. I want to show you a different image, though, because this is where the roads are a little more slick, and this is on the 5 in both directions right at Genesee. Again, when we talk about the rain, too, we're also going to talk about visibility reduced as well. So not only are we dealing with, again, the slick roads and the oils and the dirt's kind of lifting, but we're also talking about visibility poor once things start to pick up this morning. So just keep that in mind. It is not even 7 a.m. and we are tracking several crashes. I had about 5 pop up on the CAD in the past half hour or so. We'll go ahead and start in the South Bay, and then we'll work our way up. We have reports of our first spin out. This is on the 805 South, right at the 54 connector. And then we have reports of a crash, a car reportedly into the concrete barrier on the Coronado Bridge westbound at the toll booths. And that's plugging things up significantly, full span of the bridge there. And then we have this one. This came in about 45 minutes ago, but it's still active on the 805 South at La Jolla Village Drive involving a semi. Then we have another crash, and this one just came in the North County right at Escondido on the 15 South, right at the 78 connector. So you get the gist here. We're looking at dangerous driving conditions, and we're already tracking several crashes this morning. As we take a look at some of your travel times, this is coming in from the South Bay. And again, things are going to continue crawling full span of the Coronado Bridge because of that crash that we're tracking at the toll booths. Right now, about 10 to 15 to get you northbound in from San Ysidro, as well as that 54 split. 6:11 is the time. Here's a look at your border wait times. These are obviously going to grow, especially if things pick up showers wise. San Ysidro's port of entry, about an hour and a half, 20 minutes, meanwhile, coming in from Otay Mesa's port of entry. All right, and make sure that you're staying safe on the road, folks. Turn your headlights on if it's actively raining. Do not slam on the brakes if you start to hydroplane, and simply let go of the gas and keep the car straight. And before leaving your house, make sure that your tires have proper tread. We've been mentioning that all week. And of course, slow down and leave extra room for you and the other cars. And also, if you drive by a crash, if you can give them an extra lane or two, I would do that to keep the crews and everyone involved safe. And then, of course, if you're headed up to the mountains, I know it's, again, very tempting because we could see some snow, especially next week. Make sure that you're carrying chains and checking on the CAD on the log to see if chains are even required along some of those highways.